Hi travelers, Tara here, and I'm coming to you today with an open reading, your weekly open reading. And this is for December 9th, 2019. I am going to be using the the Tarot de Casanova deck. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make an announcement. I'm going to be doing a deck giveaway with the Casanova deck. Yay! Yay! Um, I have not put it all together yet, but I had a poll up on the website, and I want to thank those of you who answered the poll for your input. And the deck that won out the most was actually the Casanova Tarot, which worked out perfectly because several years ago, Christelle Martinet, I actually had purchased this deck for myself. And but Christelle Martinet, for my birthday, surprised me and sent me a Casanova deck all the way from Rome. So thank you, Christelle Martinet. So since I have two decks, I'm going to keep the one that Christelle gave me because this is the one I've been using the most. And then this is the deck that I will be giving away. This is not a purchased brand new deck to give away. This is one that I have had probably for 4 or 5 years. It's been kept with my cards in my card house that I have with my crystals and everything else. So this is one of my own personal decks that I'm giving away. That giveaway will probably start next week. And how it's going to work is I'm writing a series of articles about the Casanova deck, and I'm working on the first article now. This is going to go in conjunction with the Learn the Cards poll that I put up on the website. And basically, for those of you who didn't go or don't go to my website or don't, subscribe to the channel, that poll was basically asking, I'm going to start posting up on the website, but also on Twitter, on Tumblr, and on LinkedIn. So if you want, you can follow me on one of those other platforms. And I'm going to teach you the Tarot Nova, I don't know why I keep calling it that, the Casanova deck. And so there will be a brief article, something about Casanova, because many people ask me, oh my God, Tara, you're so thorough with your cards. What do you do? How do you do that? And so what I do is I will do historical research. This deck takes place in the 17th. He lived in the 1700s. So what I do is I grab books, I learn about life, art, culture, the economic times, the political times, how religion factored into everything. And then based upon that information, that gives me a bit more information in order for me to read the deck of cards. Now, not all decks speak to me. So I have a few other decks that I'm probably going to be giving away, but this will be after 2020. And so the giveaway will actually be for January 2020. So read the articles because I'm going to be pulling a few questions away out of those articles, and however I set it up, whoever gets the question correct will be the person who will receive the deck, and that will be in January 2020. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to stop this, turn the camera around onto the table, and we're going to get ready to read. And, hopefully there's something in this for someone out there. As I always say, take what you can, disregard what you cannot, and then let's get to the cards. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm back. Here we have my deck of tarot cards, the Casanovas. I have already done some meditation on the cards and have asked my ancestors to come in and to help me receive the messages in the highest good of anybody who needs to hear them. We also have the conjure cards and we have the La Vera Sibila. So with that being said, I'm going to just throw another shuffle on here, and then we will get started with the reading I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be pulling out what kind of oracle card I'm going to use to wrap this up, but we shall see. Okay. All right. 9 cards down. Here we go. The Four of Wands. Now, can you see that card? Take a good look at that card. Okay. The Five of Wands. Wow. The Queen of Coins. The Ten of Cups. Wow. The Hermit. Okay. The Judgment. The Ace of Pentacles. Wow. The Knight of Swords. And the Two of Swords. Well, isn't that something? Isn't that something? Off the bat, I have 2 court cards. So, yeah, I do feel that this is about a second person here. Or at least there's 2 people involved, maybe 3. 1, 2 Wands, 2 Pentacles, 2 Swords, and 2 major arcana right next to each other. Under the deck, well, I have the Chariot. Well, we know off the bat that Casanova was, I don't know, well-traveled. He had lots of female friends. But he also himself had a lot of different experiences. On the one hand, he was somewhat like a con man, but on the other hand, he was this very educated, I also think a very calculating individual. He knew pretty much exactly what he wanted. He knew how he was going to get it. And so he set forth to do these things. Interestingly enough, Casanova was an Arian. He was an Aries male, the first of 5 children. And to me, this reads, honestly, if I think there was a third party here. Now, I don't know if this is a third party female or if it's a third party male, but there's a third party here. I'm not exactly sure if perhaps some of you have been away on a trip, or you're returning back from a trip, but the Chariot card over this whole reading does speak to some kind of movement. Now, we know that a chariot, a horse-drawn carriage is, or a chariot would be the idea of rough travel, you know what I mean? Not easy, not fast, not very comfortable, perhaps in close confinement with the other people. But the story behind the card in this deck is that Casanova had been at a wedding and was leaving, and the actual heiress who was getting married did not want to get married. So she asked Casanova for a ride. She left the bride at, I'm sorry, the groom at the altar. He, of course, was blamed for that. And it was thought at the time that he had actually eloped with her, or at the very least had talked her into not marrying this person that she was supposed to marry. So either way, I get the sense that there is movement. There may have been a trip and or a visit someplace, and there's been some confusion surrounding this. That is the overall energy. Now, whether or not this is an actual trip, this could be that metaphorical idea of something moving along or something coming along, but there's going to be some confusion surrounding it or involved in it. I have 110 here. And I have two twos. Now, how do I get two twos? I have the judgment, which is a 20, and we break that down in the numerology. 2 plus 0 equals 2. So there's my 2. And then here's my other 2. All right. So two twos can speak to, one second here. Let me grab my thing. So, well, hell, I got it plugged in and I ain't even got nothing to plug it in with. Hang on, or maybe I can, no, I can't plug it in there because I've got this chinky computer. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to run and go get a charger for my phone. So 1 second. Okay, I'm back, and luckily I hadn't started the timer yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at these two twos. I think they kind of pretty much mean the same thing. Harmonious changes and communication and the need to make a choice. That's one of the definitions of two twos. The other definition is oh God, I've got to get this done this weekend. It tells of a commitment and or an engagement. And that could even be this. This could be the idea that perhaps there was an engagement or a commitment put forth, but then somebody changed direction, changed their mind. All right. This Four of Wands here, past, present, future, interplay of the cards. This Four of Wands is somewhat interesting to me because it's the idea that if you look at the imagery, the woman is semi-clothed. She's standing in a river of water. So to me, this means that she is fully immersed in her emotions. She's quite comfortable who she is. But I don't know, can you see that person in the background? Somebody's watching her. Okay. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this was the idea that maybe you were in a commitment, if you are the female, or if you take the female role, because this reading is going to be for same-sex or heterosexual. So whomever is going to take the role of the female, whomever is going to take the role of the male. So maybe this is the idea that you, as the female, decided that this was not something that you wanted to engage in, but you are fully comfortable in yourself. You know exactly what you want. Your emotions are deep, but you are also comfortable enough with them and yourself and your mind, the way that you think, that you can be fully immersed in this, right? But there's this Five of Wands here, so there's some kind of conflict. There's actually a duel. There's a battle here. That card speaks to the idea that Casanova insulted this man's wife at some kind of party, and then they met at a duel. Well, we know that duels were illegal as well. So there's some kind of fight. Something that has brought these two individuals together. It's a bridge, right? They're meeting in the center of a bridge. Now, I would take it that we're looking at a earth sign female, Taurus, Virgo, and or Capricorn. If not, then this is about the idea of somebody who can literally just get what she wants. Okay, she is has that ability to just get what she wants. Perhaps maybe not all the time by scrupulous means. So this could be some kind of manipulation of some sort. But basically that this person is, yeah, she just can get what she wants. By the same token, if it's not that, then maybe we're looking at somebody who has money, some kind of wealth. But it says Ten of Cups as well. The Ten of Cups here implies um, everything that you've ever wanted in a relationship, but yet we see the two people have masks on. So this could be the appearance of things, right? It's not necessarily what you think it is simply the appearance, because the two people have masks. They're not looking at each other face to face. So something's being hidden or something's being kept back. The Hermit. This speaks to isolation. It speaks to, oh, it's also about learning. Separating yourself or removing yourself from something so that you can learn something. I get the sense that what I'm looking at here, particularly with the Hermit and the Judgment card, is there's a decision that this Hermit has stepped forward to say, hey, wait a minute, I need to pause and reflect on this. Maybe this is a pause and reflect on a long-term relationship. And that maybe what people really don't know about the relationship is that the appearances are not as the way things truly are. This Ace of Coins is about something new, a new way of doing something. To me, it just speaks that there's a change here. There's an opportunity coming. Now, I don't know necessarily if this is, I don't think this is a financial, I don't know if you can see these. If this is really a financial, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get all of the cards in the spread. Hold on. There we go. I don't know necessarily if this is a financial opportunity. It does not read like that to me. But whatever this opportunity that comes in, whatever this new thing is, or this new way of doing something, there's going to be a message that comes across. And this message is not going to be nice, nor is it going to be kind. It is one in which literally this Two of Swords, the meaning of this card is to be ready for the truth. Okay, to stand bare or stand naked before and be ready to accept the truth. Now, what I'm going to do is read you the meanings of these cards. Then I'm going to look at what information I can glean out of the pip cards as they relate to these two major arcana. So my pips are going to be Four of Wands, Five of Wands, Ten of Cups, the Page of Coins, and the Two. I can't look at the two court cards. But there's a decision here that needs to be made. And so I think the Chariot card is the idea of this. If something has been stagnant and it hasn't been moving either for good or ill, it will be moving, but there's going to be some confusion surrounding this. And there are going to be some messages, some things coming in. There's also going to be some kind of truth arrived at, something you're going to have to take a, and I don't think it has a truth to do with the other person. This is the truth about you. Okay, so the Four of Wands, it says agreement, prosperity, peace, refuge, purification, and a return to simplicity. With the Five of Wands, it says a limitation, training, preparation, vanity, dispute for futile reasons, and a test of strength. And that's what I think this is. I think this is the idea that I'm going to hold off and wait for a moment, a test of strength. Maybe during that time frame of waiting, there's some disputes, some arguments that come up. Here with this Queen of Pentacles, it says opulence, security, arrogance, insolence, and presumption. The gesture that she's doing of being able to seduce or to get what one wants without even having to make an effort. This could be the idea that there's, like I said, some manipulation going on here. It is this Ten of Cups that stands out the most to me. And the Ten of Cups says harmony, perfection, union, a positive outcome. However, the mask suggests that the meaning is limited to the external appearance. That's what I was saying. On the outside looking in, or being on the inside, viewing how the world is looking at you from the outside. There's something about this Ten of Cups. The Hermit. The inner search, isolation, spirituality, renunciation, silence, chastity, detachment from the material things, refuge of the heart, consolation, and a welcome. And this could be literally that whatever this moving away from, maybe, there's no more sex in this, right? But something is happening underneath the surface of these cards, because there is a decision, one in which there's a truth that's going to have to be faced. Here is the Judgment. It says exam or consequence, to lay oneself bare, the climax, spiritual or moral awakening. It says the face, this is of the female, shows reluctance and shame, but also awareness and an imminent decision. So I don't know if this is somebody, you're waiting for somebody to come and give you the answer about how this is going to go. I just get the sense that whatever has been stagnant, it's going to be moving. This says success, acquisition, and a perfect gain. That's all it says. But it is this knave, this page of swords. Vigilance, vigilance, waiting, centering on the self, waiting for something to happen, a predatory spirit. The note says this is not a figure of mercy. So this it's like a separation from whatever this is, a removing of oneself. But there's still this idea that we're waiting on something. You're waiting on something. You're waiting on a decision to either go forward, or a decision in which you're going to have to take a good, long, hard look at yourself and then determine what it is that needs to be done. The Two of Swords, it says equilibrium, adjustment, harmony, and courage, but also the discovery of self. And how do you discover the self? You discover the self by looking at the truth of who you are. So that's not always an easy thing, is it not? So I'm going to take a look to see if I can pull out any extra messages here. We will then pull the La Vida Sibilas on the most vibratory cards. Now, here it speaks to a person with a strong ability of self-expression, and depicts one who is very creative when alone, and one who is a very individual person. And maybe this is why the idea of why there's this thing of not coming together. It's because maybe you fear you're losing your independence. Maybe you don't like the quote-unquote terms and conditions that this relationship might be putting upon you, or what you think may be coming about. The Five of Wands. It is a message that you are to be self-reliant rather than depending upon others. It indicates that this issue or situation is your responsibility, and it is for you to deal with, sort through, and accomplish. I don't necessarily get the idea that you are discussing this with anybody, or asking other people for their opinion. I think this is singularly a personal decision for you. That's really what is coming across. but I think it's a decision of magnitude. That's the word that I'm looking for. Okay? Because obviously something I don't think is right here. Let's see. Nothing about the Ten of Cups. So now I'm going to look at this Ace of Pentacles. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to pull up anything. And there's just something about this Ace of Cups, simply for the idea that what is coming across more so, rather than perfection and harmony and all of that, is this idea that it's about external appearances. And I really don't know why my guides are giving me that information. Perhaps the Levita Sibilas can give me a bit more information on that. When appearing next to the Ten of Cups, it brings a message that an important union could be a major step in your life. It may be the beginning of a long-term positive relationship. So that's why I'm kind of, what is this? Obviously there's some conflict. Maybe there's been an argument. Maybe there's some kind of separation, right? Give me time to think about this. Because there's something about this and this that just kind of does not fit necessarily into what this kind of looks like. Two of Swords. You guys, my mom don't never be quiet. She's just talking and talking and talking. So let's take a look at this Two of... Nothing about the Two of Swords. But it can indicate decisions, tough choices, weighing the pros and cons. It could also be an indication of a stalemate in your affairs and feeling of not knowing which way to turn. Unsettling communications. The key to achieving a satisfactory compromise is by open and honest communication. That's what I think this is about. And once a compromise has been reached, you can feel a sense of achievement at having been open-minded and considerate at others. But it's also asking you to show some restraint against rash decisions that you may regret later. So that's kind of an odd thing. So what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pick out 3 cards. And the cards I'm going to pick out are the Five of Wands. I want to know what this, quote-unquote, this test of strength or this competition or this fight, this duel is about. And because it's a Wands card, I think it's a competition in terms of emotions, or a fight or a conflict about feelings, about what should we do, how do we want to do it, but the passion that is behind it. The Mercante. So, negotiations. The Lamante, female lover. And the Donna Maritata. 2 things. Either this is the conflict of someone saying, hey, you know, you've been my lady, you've been my friend all this time, but now I want to take it to the next level, right? But could also be 2 females. Remember, there is a third party here. There's somebody here. And the reason why I say that is it's that figure in the background. That's the first thing that stood out to me. You ever see that, I don't want to bring that up. There was a Law and Order episode where this guy got killed in a park. And then turns out that his best friend killed him because he had been stalking his wife. He was obsessed with his best friend's wife. So he killed his best friend and then married the wife. So can you imagine what that must be like to find out that you married your stalker? Right? I don't know why I brought that up, but there it is. It's just this idea of this person in the background. So I'm going to look at that with the conjure cards. I want to look at this 10 of Cups because there's something about it. There's the Gran Signore, the Sospiri, and the Deliranti. Wow. Yeah, you know, I'm waiting for that guy to come in, or you used to be everything that I waited for, wanted. Maybe there's been some kind of change for this individual, but this idea, the Sospiri, waiting for the ship to come in, we see this person wistfully waiting for this person to come back so that things could be like they are. But here's the Deliranti to say that stupid actions and stupid behavior, right? It's foolishness. Let me look at this this page here. There's something about him. I'm not exactly sure. I'm actually going to do the cross on these because I think out of the 9 cards, this is the heart of it. The Domestico. Superbia. Costanza. So, what is the Domestico? Well, he's kind of the shady character. He is someone who can help you. That's his job. He runs errands. He's a servant. He's the domestic, right? But at the same, this is about carrying messages back and forth between different people as well. You gotta remember, people used to send their servants out to do those kinds of things. But then he also speaks to the collaborator. So this is someone who, the question becomes, are they doing things for you, or are they doing things for themselves? The Superbia card speaks to vanity and pride and haughtiness. With Costanza, this means that it's the unchanging nature. So I'm not exactly sure. This is said looking out for the ego, waiting for something predatory to happen. So I don't know if this is the idea that you're going to hear from this person, or if this is telling me that that's the character of the person. We're going to look at that more in depth with the conjure cards. Last set of cards on top of the Judgment. As if to say, you know, I feel as though I don't have a choice. I'm going to have to submit or subject myself to whatever this choice or decision is. So let's see. Letterato, the discovery, man of science. The Vecchia Signora. Now that's an odd card to come out. So let's see. And the Sacerdote. I have 2 priests here. So I'm not exactly sure if the cards are telling me that someone has discovered either there's a marriage here, or that there is that the person is single. So I'm not exactly sure what the cards are trying to tell me. As I say, there's something else going on beneath the surface of these cards. I feel as though I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I know that the cards are telling the story. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look at this 4 of Wands. Five of Spades. Ace of Diamonds. So some kind of letter, legal letter, I think. And the Jack of Hearts. An admirer. Younger. Perhaps a water sign individual. This set of cards bothers me. It bothers me. I don't know if this is, maybe what it's also saying is maybe somebody's trying to make a determination. They're saying to you, well, you know, you're too old for me, right? I'm going to stay single because you're too old for me. Jack of Diamonds, another message. 9 of Diamonds, and the 3 of Spades. Somebody wealthy or in a good financial position. Lots of diamonds. So there's some kind of financial component here. So we're going to take a look at this Domestico Costanza. There you are, Queen of Diamonds again. 3 of Clubs and the Queen of Hearts. There's the third party. There's somebody else here. And that's what the fight is over. There's somebody else here, which is what I said. And now you're gonna have to take a good, long, hard look at this particular situation. The 5 of Diamonds, I'm sorry, the 5 of Spades. It says, stop trying to prove you know what is best. It speaks to anxieties and setbacks and learning to control your temper. Be flexible and listen. See the whole picture as the answer is right in front of you. It indicates temporary setbacks, oppositions, and delays, but these can be viewed as a blessing in disguise. It can also indicate being negative and or depressed. Here's this 8 of Diamonds. On that 4 of Wands, roads are open. It says that this speaks to a change, usually about money, and it's good news, but I don't see that, because we have this young admirer, somebody who wants to help or tries to help, has good intentions, could be a possible love interest, but we have to determine what the motivation of the person is. And I'd say with these two things, there's some kind of undercurrent of financial gain, perhaps, treachery, perhaps. Jack of Diamonds. I don't know if maybe you met somebody younger than you on like a trip or a vacation or something. It says this person is unreliable, selfish, and jealous. And are bad news, they are self-serving and will put themselves first. With the 9, it says opportunities arise, but do not go into partnership, as you will do better acting on your own. It speaks to either a new business deal, some kind of travel, restlessness, or a change in residence. I think this was a trip. I think something occurred or happened around a trip, because here is this 3 of Spades. Now I want you to listen. It says, this is very interesting. Relationships problems, a cheating partner or spouse, inconstancy in the people around you, breaks in a relationship, and a third-party involvement. But it says now that you are aware of the problem, you should fix it. Here, the only thing I can say about this is that it's this Three of Clubs. And the Three of Clubs says, interference from a friend could cost you a relationship or money. You should take off the blinders and see the real person. But it can also speak to a second chance of love and happiness, a successful marriage and partnership. I don't know about that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 people here. I'm going to pull 3 more cards, and I'm going to pull them on this 2. And let's look at the meaning of this 2 again, quickly, because I want to make sure that I give it to you right. Equilibrium, adjustment, harmony, courage, and the discovery of self. 10 of clubs, 5 of clubs, and the 7 of hearts. Wow. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? This says that you are overloaded and that your second sight has been blocked. You're not seeing this person or situation clearly, obviously. The 5. It says a conflict that needs to be dealt with quickly. So don't stew in it. Take care of business. Consider all the possibilities before jumping in with both feet. Think before you leap. It can indicate new alliances and friendships, but there may be conflict. We've already seen it up here. I don't know if this is a new person that you've invited into your life in some way. The person does not have your best interest at heart. Complete confusion. An unreliable who is more enemy than friend. It speaks to unreliable and fickle affections. So I'm not exactly sure if this is somebody who is here, who has come, you met this person. We're going to take a look at this with the I can never tell these things apart. 1 second. I want to look at this with the romance angel cards instead of the angel answer cards. There's somebody around. I don't know if it's another woman. I think it's another woman. I do. I think it's another female. I also think it's somebody you know. It could be the idea that, I just get the sense that something happens around a trip. Like maybe somebody went on a trip. Maybe it was a business deal and something occurred. Maybe you found out. I don't know. Maybe somebody trying to play both sides against the middle. Here's your card. This situation involves marriage. Remember, there was supposed to be a wedding, but somebody ran off. Let's read the cards. You drew this card because of an upcoming wedding or your own or someone else's. So this could be the idea that, maybe you're going to be headed that way, okay? It comes to you because marriage plays a role in the answer to your question. For some people, this card could be a validation that you will get married, and it asks that you keep the faith and continue enjoying your life without worry about your future marital status. For others, this card signals that you'll meet a significant other at an upcoming wedding or experience something there that could lead to new romance for you. It can also represent your parents' marriage and the way it affected your feelings and belief about relationships. In a few cases, this card asks you to look at your present and past marriages and review your feelings with the intention of healing your heart and your relationship. Perhaps it is time to enlist a marital counselor to help you both sort out how you feel. And sometimes this card can signal the end of a marriage, in which case the angels support everyone involved as you come to an understanding about the experience and renew your heart's willingness to love. Something is changing, and there's going to be some confusion surrounding this. It was kind of confusing for me, but nevertheless, there you have it. I hope those messages help for someone out there. Again, please subscribe to the channel. You can go over, you can find the link to my website here in the corner. These articles are going to be posted up for everybody to see, so you don't have to be a member to access the articles. Follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, and or LinkedIn. And until next time, don't forget the giveaway coming up. Namaste. Oh, it didn't close. Hold on.